So it is time for a monthly update. Now this is early July, so this one will have to count for June as well. So it's been a bit quiet on the channel from the viewers' point of view, but behind the camera there's been a lot going on, and I'm just getting to a point now where I think some of that will start to come through and then we'll be into videos. So that's the good news. So all being well, weekly videos will return for a good period. I'm thinking at least 8 weeks, which should be at least 2 months, which should see us into September, which is great. So this one kicks that off, and then next week we start with the build video. So we've got 2 parts to building the Vickers Mark IV, 2 parts to building the Tamiya Comet, and 2 parts to building a nice little scene of a Schneider, what do you call it, tractor I guess, Stalinets, sorry not Schneider, Stalinets tractor, so the Russian tractor from the Second World War early on, and that will be pulling a Schneider gun. So it's a First World War French gun used by the Republicans in the Spanish Civil War. There is an interesting photo which actually looks like it's got ex-First World War French veterans manning the gun. I don't know what else it can be, but there we are. Very interesting stuff, as it always is with everything in Spain. So that will be coming through as well, and I've got that towing. So all of that's to come, and it's all at a level now where it's actually close enough that I can say it's coming, because there shouldn't be too much that's going to cause a problem. Now, my most recent video was talking about Tank Fest, and I looked very much like this because this is filmed on the same day. And what did I buy at Tank Fest? So I did get a model, and it is this one. Yes, what's that got to do with the Second World War? Well, not a lot, but I own one of these tractors. I own this Fergie TE20 and a massive Ferguson 35. So I always wanted to build a model of each, more the Fergie I must admit. So what we got in here is like rubber tyres, which are, you know, very much what you expect. Simple stuff. It's the Heller kit from a French angle, but it's the TE20. It's got all the things you need. So different seats, different exhausts. It's got the exhaust that mine has got. It's got the you can widen the front legs. That's not what I mean. You can extend the front wheels, the axles, or you can close them down. Mine's closed down quite a lot. It's this, whatever this is. This little section here. Hopefully that comes up here. You basically shunt that in further or pull it out, and it either widens your wheel line. I'm not a mechanic. It either widens how far your front wheels are or shortens them if you want to narrow it. Mine's quite narrowed because it was designed for where was it used? I think it was used on an orchard, so they narrowed all the wheels down so they could go through. Anyway, what's that got to do with anything? It's all of interest. This looks like a very interesting model once built. I was going to call it a tank. It's not a tank. My tractor is very well worn, and I can see the video in my head. Sometimes you get that idea with these videos. I can see how it's going to be. I'm going to go out to the nursery, do a bit of filming around the tractor, get some ideas, come back, or put it on the bench, build the thing, stick it on. I should do a little vignette with me stood next to it. I don't think I will, because although my incredibly well-worn Ferguson would make a fantastic model, I don't really want to see it in that light. I see it like that every day. I want to see it as it was either in the 50s when it was built. I think it was 50s. Yeah, I think the massive Ferguson's the 60s, the Fergie's the 50s. So I want to do it relatively clean, but like it's gone up through the fields a couple of times. Nicely. Well, I say that, it's Heller, so I mean we'll have to see, but we get a couple of little photo etch set, and it's got the light fronts, for want of a better word, which I'm not going to use. My lights will surprise you, are long gone. And the Ferguson sign and badge, and the 2 instruments. There's only 2 instruments on there. They've posed the exhaust going like out the back. Sometimes I wish it would, because mine spits quite a lot of oil, but mine's one of those that goes up, so I've got that option in here as well. I do like the idea of these tractors. I've got another one. Airfix did one, which was Thunder Models tractor. I can't even remember what it's called. It's an American tractor that was used during the Second World War on airfields and places like that. So anyway, all that's to say, this should be an interesting project, and mine's grey like that, no red on it, so it'll all be very good. And I've been wanting to get one for a long time. Models for sale were there. They had it on for sale. They had this model for sale, so I bought it, and that was that. So that's going to be done as a little kind of light relief after some tanks. You know, I do like sort of civilian stuff on occasion after doing a lot of military. Just sort of freshens everything up, cleans the palette, as it were. So I will be doing this one. I expect I'll be cracking on with that relatively soon, because for the reason I just said. I must admit though, the paint colour, let's think about that. Ferguson TE20, I mean, it's a Ferguson grey. I mean, it is a grey, which isn't like any other grey. Surely someone's already made that, and it's be quite simple to find. Probably not going to be lucky enough to use Tamiya. Probably be Humbrol. Well, I'll work that out. That's easy enough. Now, I'm always seemingly getting myself involved in relatively hard to find kits, finding them in shops that have been there for 10 years, 15 years. And this was one I found this week. I've been in Frank Herring's in Dorchester many times. Now, I've never seen this kit, and I've got a feeling it's been there ever since it was released. Because it's 1999. No one's released this kit recently for that price. And the date on the box is 2002, which is what I remember it as, which is why I want it, because this was showing up in the magazines when I was beginning with tanks. So, what is this kit? It's 2 things. It's good and bad. It's good for me nostalgically. As a kit, it's probably pretty bad. It's the old Italieri kit. Here's the decals, printed 2002, Italy, so it must be cartograph, one would hope. They look alright. They look the part for what you can see. So all Philippines based, LVT with the turret on it. Has it got a different designation? What's the Amtrak? The things the Marines drove onto the beach to not only transport them there, but also give them a bit of cover while they were going up the beach. And I've always liked the idea of it. I've got some old Tamiya model magazines where there's a couple of builds of it. One in particular looks really good, and it's using the kit tracks. It's just plastered with sand. And the kit tracks aren't actually that bad, but one thing with these are going off on now. Look, I've got the AFE Club kit, and the tracks are noticeable for having these large gaps between the plates like this that you can see through, which is obviously quite hard to do with rubber tracks. The AFE Club ones I think are solid, but AFE Club do their own interlinking tracks, which I may have got. I don't know, I've had it for a long time. That I wanted to do as a British one, so it's without the turret. It's ones that they would have been using across the Rhine. So I wanted to, that's like a long-term project. That's getting hard to find as well, so I got that just so I had it. I've also got the duck for similar reasons. This all goes into it. There's a bit of an amphibious theme running along it. But, for what it is, as it runs on through, it's, it's nice enough. And there's the turret on top, and we've got, what are the marking schemes? The 1st Amphibious Assault Battalion, Anfang, 1944, and then we got Saipan, 44. Peleliu, 1944, that was a bit of a rough old time. And Saipan. And I would be probably going for the box art, which is Crazy Legs. Much like that. As you can see, Crazy Legs. Now, I'm in too much. I might put this out to you guys. I might even do a little poll. I'm in two minds as to... Well, I'm leaning one side actually, but whether to build this just as it is, straight out of the box, stick it on a little base, chuck some sand at it, have it go, you know, very much like I see Steven Zaloga's vignettes in my mind when I see how I want it finished. You know, just the tank, well painted figure, maybe a little bit of terrain or I don't know, not quite a palm tree, but you know what I mean. Or try a bit harder, try to do a little bit more to it. My only fear with that is that tends to take me on down a road where I do a whole load of stuff to it and never finish it. With building this kit out of the box, you know, I do fancy shouldn't be a problem. I thought that was warped. No, it has got a great big curve on it. Yeah, so these tracks are alright. They're okay. They've got the gap. They're not solid. That's why they were using them. They're actually for what it is, they're actually very good. I must admit. There's a lot of ejector pin marks on there, but you know, you just stab in a bit of wet sand, as it were. Anyway, so that was a couple little things, just to give you an update. Let me know what you think in the comments down below with this Amtrak, well, and the Fergie. Once I show you pictures of my Ferguson, everyone's going to think, oh, it'd be brilliant. Do like a night shift on it, you know, and spend 5 months chipping the bonnet. But I don't really want to do that. So I will be doing the Fergie as pretty clean, a little bit of mud on the wheels. But this one, as I say, out of the box, I mean, it's out of the box, I do a few corrections, you know. Anything I can do reasonably easy. But for the main part, I'd probably do it as it is. Yeah, I do like this. This is one of those kits that sort of gets me going, wants me to have a look at the old Tamiya model magazines and find the build and crack on with it. So there we are. That is what's going on in this update, and that's what's been going on the channel. Is me buying a couple of things, not a huge amount, and doing a little bit off camera. So I've got a few builds coming down the line, like I said. I've got a few interesting sort of side projects on the go as well, which I hope to talk about going forward. All modelling related, in one way or another, and I'm sure some of it will be of interest to you as we go on down the line. But yes, I hope to get an aircraft going as well. It's been very tanky on the channel. I have built a Spitfire in the downtime for a group I'm linked to, which is based on aircraft in the southwest of England. And I hope to do a few more interesting projects. So we'll see how it goes. I've got a lot of things, like I said, in my mind, a lot of things I'm actually doing, and none of this is, you often see this, you see people say this, me included, and you go on down a line where you get burnt out. This has been happening for a while now, for about 2 or 3 months, so I've been doing stuff just in the background. So it's all good news, and I hope to be sharing stuff with you shortly. So hopefully, all being well, next week there'll be a video out which will start the weekly videos rolling on, like I said, because it's all been done, and we'll see if we can continue that on from there. So that should get everyone ready to follow along, and if you found this video and you haven't already, do consider subscribing to the channel. Let me know your comments down below regarding Amtrak and all that sort of thing. Anything else you'd like to mention. As always, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.